What if the greatest threat to your life wasn't lurking in an alley, a dark forest, or a remote highway, but was already inside your home? Welcome back to the True Crime Archives channel, the place where chilling real-life encounters meet forensic truth and twisted mystery. Tonight's case isn't about a famous serial killer or a decades-old unsolved murder, no. It's about the terrifying moments when the walls of safety around you crumble and the monster isn't under your bed. He's crouched just a few feet away, waiting in the dark. Subscribe now and settle in, because what you're about to hear is not fiction. It's a disturbingly real sequence of events that could happen to anyone, anywhere.
It started like any other uneventful evening. Late at night,
Somewhere in suburban America, a man sat alone in his living room. A long weekend gave him the perfect excuse to stay up, drink a cold Budweiser, and decompress on his couch with the TV droning in the background. The home was modest, a single-story, post-breakup property he decided to keep rather than sell. It was quiet, still, normal, but normal never lasts long in stories like this. Around 10:45 p.m., a faint knock echoed through the room, not from the front door but somewhere behind him. An odd location for a visitor. He paused, puzzled. The knock wasn't loud, it was more like a tap, on glass. Rising from the couch, he kept the TV running behind him and wandered into the hallway. He scanned the family room. Nothing. The kitchen? Empty. He chalked it up to a tree branch brushing a window or something toppling over in the wind. And so, he returned to the comfort of his cushions and the glow of the screen. It didn't take long for the piece to unravel. Another tap, again, that precise rhythm. This time, unmistakably coming from a window. Now alert, he walked briskly from room to room, and that's when things got weird. One of the rear windows was open. Why? Even worse, the basement door, usually locked, was slightly ajar. 2 unsecured entry points, 2 unexplained disturbances. It was no longer a coincidence.
fueled by a combination of alcohol, adrenaline, and ego, he made the decision that would nearly cost him his life. He went to check the basement. The stairs creaked under his weight. The light barely illuminated anything. Shadows dominated every corner, swallowing his field of view. This was an unfinished basement, cold, damp, and unused. His gut clenched. A sick, primal fear surged through his chest. Someone could be hiding anywhere down there. He turned back, fast, shut the door, shoved a large piece of furniture against it, then called the police. By some cosmic stroke of luck, an officer was patrolling just blocks away. He arrived swiftly, gun drawn, flashlight cutting through the darkness of the basement. 10 seconds. That's all it took. In one of the darkest corners, crouched behind the staircase, the officer found a man. He was armed with a kitchen knife. And worse, he hadn't moved an inch when the homeowner had been just feet away. This wasn't a desperate thief or transient squatter. The man had a downtown apartment, a job, and no logical reason to be there. His excuse? He was seeking shelter. But it wasn't raining. It wasn't cold. There was no clear motive. Just the chilling realization that a violent stranger had invaded a home and was prepared to strike, if given the chance. Roughly 5 or 6 weeks passed. Spring brought rain. More time spent indoors. The same man was now seated at his desk, working on late-night paperwork in his dimly lit living room. Fatigue blurred his focus. Coffee didn't help. He leaned back in his chair to stretch, and that's when he saw it. A face in the window, expressionless, pressed against the glass, smiling. The man outside didn't move when spotted. He didn't flinch. He just stared. Shaken, the homeowner rushed to the window, but the man was gone. Outside, footprints led away from the house, disappearing into the tree line. Grabbing a rain jacket and a flashlight, he stepped outside. He needed to know the intruder had left. Under the drizzle, he traced the muddy footprints, but something was wrong. The tracks were facing the house, not leaving, which meant whoever had been out there had come from inside. Turning to run back, he froze. Through the window, a person was inside his house, looking out, watching him. The homeowner sprinted to the nearest neighbor's house, banging on the door in blind panic. They let him in. The police were called immediately. By the time they arrived, the house was empty again. but the back door forced open. Whoever had been inside had entered while he was outside, likely watching him the entire time. He had narrowly escaped a second time. No arrests were made. No fingerprints. No explanation. Was it the same man from the basement? A different stalker? Or was this a twisted escalation of someone who had made this home and its occupant their obsession? No one ever returned, but the psychological scars remain. A man, alone in a house once filled with peace, now haunted by what could have happened, and still might. We often think true crime lives on the news or in the stories of others. But sometimes, the most horrifying cases aren't the ones with a name or a criminal record. They're the ones that never make the news, the ones without motive, without logic, the ones that nearly ended in silence and mystery. So ask yourself, how well do you really know the shadows in your own home? If you found this story gripping, disturbing, or just too close to home, subscribe to the True Crime Archives channel. We bring you the real stories the headlines forget, with every unsettling detail intact. And tell us in the comments, what would you have done if you saw a stranger smiling at you through your window, then realized they never left? Stay alert, stay safe, and remember, some nightmares walk on 2 feet.